All right, we're continuing in the Maimer Ki Yamet Tzeitzchan Eretz Yisrael in Maimer Malakutim Beit, and we are now on the fourth paragraph, explaining how every day we must go out of Egypt. Inyan Hu. Now the Rebbe is going to quote almost word for word what it says in the 47th chapter of the Tanya. Teheni Omer Azal, the rabbis say, B'kol dor v'dor, b'kol yom v'yom, every generation and every day. Chayav Adam lirot et atzmo, a person has to see himself, Ki'ilu Yatzei Hayom, like he goes out today from Egypt. The b'chol yom v'yom, every single day, tzorich hayetzia mimitzrayim, a Jew has to go out of Egypt. This is a Mishnah in Pesachim, but it's also in the Tanya, brings it. It adds a little bit. Ubafrat, and especially b'shas kriyas shema, especially when do you go out of Egypt? When you say Shema Yisrael every day. Kamasho katuv, like is written Admor Zaken, like the Baal HaTanya wrote, the Masha Tiknu, Parshas Yetzias Mitzrayim, the time of Kriyat Shema. This is because Shehein, that they, Kriyat Shema and going out of Egypt, are the same thing. When you say Shema Yisrael in the morning and in the evening, you're supposed to be going out of all of your limitations. Shema Yisrael means suddenly you start to, Shema means to understand. Shema, you become aware that God is our power and that God is one. God creates the whole entire world. This is not a normal perception. People don't feel this. But every Jew is supposed to feel it every time that he says Shema Yisrael. That, by the way, is one of the reasons why a person, right before a person dies, he's supposed to say Shema Yisrael. Because what happens as soon, right before a person dies, suddenly he realizes that the whole entire life was just a big gift. It was one big, amazing, beautiful, fantastic gift from the Creator. And that he should have been grateful for this gift all the time. But at least the last moment of his life, he should be grateful, right? And when he's alive, so he hasn't got any, he seems that he's in control. But right before he dies, suddenly he admits that really the fact of the matter is that that the fact that I thought I was in control and the little bit of free choice that I did have, that's also a gift from God. That's why we say Shema Yisrael every day, twice. It's sort of like that last moment right before you die. Because our whole life is just an amazing gift and a miraculous creation that God is giving us every single instant, brand new. And He's giving us in order that we can do something positive, take responsibility, be connected to the Creator, or in the language of the Torah, serve God. What do you mean serving God? What does God want? He wants a cup of coffee. What God wants is that we should make this world perfect. That's what He wants. God put us in the world to perfect the world, to make the world a place where every human being realizes his uniqueness and every one human being realizes his responsibility to his Creator. That's what we should realize. Of course, a minute before a person dies, he's not going to be able to serve God very much, right? By making this declaration, but at least he can know the truth. But when we say Shema, we can make the declaration, and afterwards we can serve God with it. Right? We can serve God. So every day a person was a little bit more aware of what it was the day before. Inyan says, Kriya Shema, has to be the avoda of Yetzias Mitzrayim. When a person says Shema Yisrael, it's not just that he closes his eyes and he does this religious ritual, which is also true. It's also true. It is a religious ritual and it's a basis of Judaism. But it's very important that you understand the words and understand the meaning of the words and then understand what the words are talking to. Right? What they're talking about. As you're speaking to Hashem and you're speaking to your godly soul, you're speaking to the whole world and declaring there's a Creator.
Truly the first person. You're talking to the first person.
Right, yes. Who gam b'kriyas Shema shel Arvis, and this is also in the evening Kriyas Shema. Like the Rambam says, Shema Shekora Parshat Tzitzis. You see where we are? You have the place. First word in line is, I don't know. Your sefer is different than mine. Even though Rambam says that's why we have the part. You have the third paragraph of Shema in Tzitzis. Even though she'en mitzvah tzitzis noagas b'layla, even though the mitzvah tzitzis is not done in the nighttime, is because sheyesh bo zichron yetzias Mitzrayim. It's because there is a memory of going out of Egypt. That's what it means, like the days of going out of Egypt. Yemei Rabim. That's why Micha did not make a mistake. True, he left Egypt the first time in one day, but we must do it every single day. Every single day is that day. Even though the going out of Egypt was in one day. Because by means of that we mention every day going out of Egypt. That was the first time. By means of this, there becomes the days of going out of Egypt. Yamei Lashon Rabin. Every day becomes another going out of your personal limitations and your false ego, and connecting to the creator of your being. God creates us every single instant brand new. Kol yom v'yom, that every single day, Yotzim Mitzrayim, we go out of Egypt. We go out of Meitzarim v'Gavulim. We go out of our limitations and our false boundaries. And we go out of the false boundary, higher and higher ones. In other words, what yesterday was freedom, going out of the boundaries, today we realize, yesterday I was really in limitation. And then the next day you realize, there's a story about Rabbi Sadia Gaon. You hear me, Herschel? Rabbi Sadia Gaon. There's a story that once he was a tremendous holy person, about 1,000 years ago in Iraq. All the Gaonim, they lived there. And one day his pupils happened to be taking a walk, whatever it is, in the mountains of Iraq, and they heard a noise. They didn't know what it was. Was it a wild animal? So they cautiously looked between these two rocks or whatever it was, and they saw that there was their master rolling in the snow. Now, it used to be a thing that people used to do, and it's not done nowadays, and if it is done, it's not done properly. There used to be a thing called self-mortification. What is self-mortification? That people would accept on themselves certain, pain and difficulty. And then they would do it in a quiet way so that nobody would see them. But some, they would accept on themselves fasts, and they would do other things that did not impair their health, but nevertheless caused them great discomfort, in order to minimize their connection to their body, and to also to purify them if they had ever gotten any pleasure, forbidden or unnecessary pleasure from the world, to disattach themselves from that self that likes this pleasure. So anyway, they found him rolling on the snow. So later in the day, they asked him why he was doing it. I mean, it couldn't be that he had sins or that he had gotten unnecessary pleasure from the world. So he said, you saw me this morning? He said, yeah. They said, yes, we saw it. He said, okay, I'll tell you why. He said, every day I wake up in the morning and I think to myself, wow, if I would know yesterday what I know now about serving God, I would have never served God yesterday like I did. I would have served yesterday in a much, much deeper and more genuine and more wholesome and enthusiastic way than I did yesterday. Suddenly, he has an awareness, says, what gave me this awareness? What gave me this awareness today especially? Is that I accepted on myself galus, exile. I told my best pupils that they'll teach the other pupils, and I accepted on myself exile. What would these rabbis do? They were very great, and they thought that because they were receiving so much honor from their pupils, that maybe it was going a little bit to their head. Maybe it was causing them a little bit of egotism. on their high level, right, even a little tiny bit of egotism, they consider it to be a terrible sin. So just on the worry that maybe this was going to his head, so he accepted on himself exile. What do you mean exile? He would dress like a normal person, go to a place where nobody knew him, and he would go around for what, nobody would give him any honor, nobody would give him any this, and he would beg or whatever he would do, or maybe he would work menial jobs. So he said, I went to one place, I went to an inn, and I asked for a room. The man gave me a room, and they treated me very nicely, and the next morning I left. And I left. I was walking on the road. About 2 hours into my walk, suddenly the owner of the inn came riding on a horse. Jews didn't usually sit on a horse. They would sit riding on a horse. And he caught up to me, and he got off the horse, and he got on the ground on his knees, and he started kissing my feet and saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me. So I said, what's wrong with you? What are you doing this for? Maybe you had me mistaken for somebody else. You didn't do it. I'm the person that was at your inn last night. You didn't do anything wrong to me. You treated me very nicely. He said, no. He said, after you left, some of your pupils came to the inn. They were looking for you. They wanted to learn Torah from you. And they said, was the great Reb Sadia going here? I said, no. And they said, did you know how he looked? Do you know how Reb Sadia Gaon looks? No, I never saw him, but last night there was a simple guy who had torn clothes. Said, did he have, red hair? Did he have blue eyes? Did he have a nose that looked like this? Says, yeah, he did. He was like that tall. Says, that's Reb Sadia Gaon. Except that he said, that was Sadia Gaon. And I treated him like a regular person. Said, right? I realized, what had I done? He says, the same thing. Every morning I wake up. He said, I woke up and I thought, wait. I was serving God yesterday. If I would only know the greatness of God yesterday like I know now, right? I had increased my awareness, then for sure I would have treated him totally differently. Because that's what it means going out of Egypt. Okay, Urshel. Ki al yedesha mazkirin b'kol yom, by means of that we mention every day going out of Egypt. Shahayat Abapam Rishona was first one day. Hine al yudezen nase yamei. It's made the days of going out of Egypt. Yamei Lashon Rabim. Shebakol yom v'yom, that every single day, yotzim mimetzorim b'gabulin nalim yoter. We go out from more and more limitations. Un men stellt sich avek b'matzav shel ufratster. And we establish ourselves in a way of spreading out. L'mayla mimedidav agbala, above any limitations. V'ad sheboim le'ufraster b'tachlis shlemos, until we can come to ufraster. That was the blessing that God gave to Yaakov, ufraster, yama v'kedma, and it became sort of a slogan for Chabad. Ufraster, yama v'kedma, tzafona v'negba. You never heard the song? Right, sure. Yama means you should spread out. Ufrasa means like to break out. Poretz, to break through all barriers. Until eventually the greatest breaking out of all, in the future redemption. Amitit v'shlema by means of Mashiach Tzikenu. Like it says about him, Allah ha-poretz lefanenu. That the Mashiach, it says the poretz, the one who breaks through, he will come before us. What does it mean that he will break through? Break through egotism. Listen, all the religions in the world are pure egotism. All of them. All the religions of the world are designed to give you the maximum in this world and in the world to come. You serve me, you're going to get blessing, you're going to get awareness, you're going to get consciousness, you're going to get heaven, you're going to get bliss. You're going to wonder, I'm going to receive. Another religion gives me more, I'll go over to that religion. Another religion is more successful, I'll take that up. Judaism, the Jews have been persecuted. Why do they keep holding on to Judaism? Why don't they leave? The reason, what is it, 200 years ago, all of a sudden there come the Zionists. They get the idea, we're going to be like everybody else, and then everybody's going to stop hating us. Then we're going to receive. Then we're going to have a nice, calm life. It's an idea that's not not such a bad idea, right? Why should we live thousands of years? They've been hating us because we're Jews. Didn't it occur to anybody 3,000 years? Let's just all stop being Jews. We'll just be a normal nation like everybody else. And we'll be a biblical nation. We'll have certain customs and certain, right? The Greeks had the Iliad and the Odyssey, right? And the Romans had the Ennead or whatever it is. We'll have our own. We've got the Bible, right? We'll be a nation like any other nation. Let's stop this. But the whole point is that's the opposite. The essence of the Jews is to come and teach the world, don't live for yourself. Don't live in order to go to heaven. The purpose of life is not what you receive. The purpose of life is what you can give. The purpose of life is to improve the entire world according to God's standards, to make the world a perfect place. Not like the Arabs, they say, we also have the same idea. We're going to make the world perfect by killing everybody who doesn't agree with us. Right? Great idea. Not only that, according to a lot of scientists, there's too many people in the world anyway. Kill each other, kill ourselves, kill our children, just kill everybody and we'll all go to heaven, we'll all go down together. Judaism says, no, nothing is more precious than life. Nothing is more precious than another human being. If someone doesn't agree with you, his right not to agree with you. True, there are certain crimes that are punishable by death, but there hasn't been a death penalty in Judaism for over 2,000 years. It hasn't. But it just comes to say, if there's a death penalty, it comes to show you God doesn't like this. God doesn't want you to do this thing, right? God doesn't want you to do homosexuality. He doesn't want you to blaspheme, to lie. He doesn't want you to serve other gods. True, there's no death penalty today, right? And we don't know how it works in heaven. It could be that a person does these crimes, he does one good deed, and he goes to heaven. We're not talking about that. We're talking about how to improve the world, not what I get. And am I going to get punished? That's talking about going out of Egypt. Going out of Egypt means going out of your selfishness. That's why it says the Mashiach, there won't be any more religions. All religions are just ego trips. All of them, without exception. Right? You get the world to come by living the world, this world. Right? You don't get married. You make yourself suffer. So then the world, future world, you'll get more. That's an investment. That's not serving God. That's serving yourself. Making an investment, right? I invest in this world in order to go to the next world. That is not Judaism. There's a lot of Jews that say that it is, but that's not. That's the idea of why Chassidut comes to save the world. And that's what Mashiach is going to be. He's going to open up Poretz. That's one of the reasons also why the Jews didn't like Moshe. Why Korach convinced everybody to rebel against Moshe. An amazing story. Moses took all the Jews out of Egypt. He got the Torah, brought man from heaven, brought water from a rock, provided for the Jews, helped the Jews, led the Jews, protected the Jews. All of a sudden comes one person, Korach, that never did anything for the Jews, and he says, let's make war against Moshe, right? Let's get rid of him. Everybody said, oh, good idea. And they're all unified to go against. Why? Because Moshe kept hacking the Jewish people, right? You have to do for Hashem. You have to forget about yourselves. And Korach said, hey guys, we're out of Egypt. We got the Torah, right? Moshe finished his job. Now let's start thinking about ourselves. Everybody said, hey, he's right. He really is right. Moshe, we liked you. You're okay. We needed you. But, time for a new, change the guard. Change the guard. And that's why it says about the Melech HaMashiach, Zeo Masha Mashiach has been David. The guy, Masim and all Mashiach is Shehu Hoga B'Torah, that he works in the Torah of Osik B'Mitzvahs, and he does mitzvahs like David Aviv, and he fights the battles of God. The David comes from Peretz. Like it says, Ma Paratzta Alecha Peretz. Peritzas Kol Gadonim V'Medidas V'Agbolos. Breaking through all of the boundaries, all limitations, and all, restraints. Oh. All right. We're not going to have a chance to finish this, but I would like to just tell you what it says further in the Maimar. What does it say? It says every day the Rebbe breaks this.
Let's make it as a 5-minute tape.
All right, good.